Hello there, welcome to Astrology and Magic. My name is Valkyria Verder. Today we are going over May 3rd through May 12th. We do have a full moon in Scorpio this week, which I'm pretty excited about. I think it's going to be a little bit more interesting than even we can predict right now. So, before we get into the show today, this podcast and the blog that I run over at vordr.substack.com are both reader and listener supported. So if you want to become an exclusive subscriber, there's going to be a link down below to the blog if you want to go and join. Every single month, exclusive subscribers, they get a breakdown of the new moon, and there's one blog a month that comes out for those exclusive subscribers. I put it behind a paywall because I talk about the magic that costs a little bit more to practice, and so just to keep the balance, as witches do, as we witchy folk are meant to practice, you know, the balance keepers, not the sleepers, that's for sure. I put it behind a paywall just to remind us all that magic does cost something when we practice it. So you'll also get, if you subscribe over on the blog, free or paid, you'll get updates when the podcast comes out. You'll also receive updates on other information that I send out to the list of subscribers over there. I've been kind of bouncing around the top sellers list of education recently, so I want to say thanks to all the support over there. I'm grateful for the numbers. I'm grateful for the growth. Things are going pretty good. So thank you for being there if you are someone who does go to the blog to support me and to read my content and receive what I do. So thank you. Gratitude, reverence, and love to you. There's some other updates also. www.vordr.art is where you're going to find my books, my poetry, my art, any sort of paintings. I've got rune decks, the fate deck, the tarot fate deck is over there too. So anything that you might be interested art related is going to be at www.vordr.art. And then if anything is related to astrology, it's going to be at astrologyandmagic.com, and that's magic with the CK, sessions, study courses, anything else that could be related. So I'll leave both of those there. They'll be down in the description. Let's get into the week. Thanks for listening to the updates. Beautiful. So there's a couple kind of crazy things that are happening this week. There's a couple kind of crazy things that we're going to be experiencing. I want to go back and remind everybody that this new moon that was in Taurus was also with Uranus, with Uranus. That new moon kicked us off into a growth of resources that is going to be unpredictable, unexpected, and we're going to have to keep some secrets once we get to this full moon. So before we get there, though, because I don't want to talk about it too soon, I just want to bring that up as a reminder. Bring it up as a reminder. Anything being a little weird, anything crossing your path that's a little like, where's that coming from? How did that get here? Okay, well, clock it, lock it, put it in your pocket, keep walking. We got some things to do. 4th through the 5th of this week, we're going to have a first quarter moon in Leo, ruled by the sun in Taurus, which is ruled by the Venus in Aries. This is going to bring a lot of clarity, a lot of light, a lot of direction. It's Leo. It's ruled by the sun. It's centered in the self. Hopefully there's going to be some joyous things that are coming in as well. And then also happening during this moon, we also have, it's on the 5th at 3:27 UTC. Pluto is going to go retrograde in Aquarius. I mentioned the blog earlier. I've been doing like a mini Pluto retrograde series. There was a Pluto retrograde collective reading that went out on the blog recently. I also did like a written blog publication about Pluto retrograde, kind of some placements you can look at in your chart, things to expect because of those placements. So the blog, the written part, is a little bit more direct, and then we kind of with the retrograde reading, we talk a little bit more about the things that are coming up that are more spiritually related. Pretty interesting stuff. So if you're interested in more of the spiritual direction of what society is going to look like because of Pluto retrograde, go check it out. If not, then that's cool. We're going to keep moving. Pluto retrograde in Aquarius starts on May 5th. It's going to be, there's still some more to come out in that Pluto retrograde series. So just a heads up, if you are interested in that, there's going to be a couple more things that come out very soon. When Pluto goes retrograde, we start a death wave. That is what I call it. This is also going to be the first Pluto retrograde that we have in Aquarius where it does not go back into Capricorn. We're at the very beginning of Pluto in Aquarius. Think about how crazy the world has been since November of 2024. That's when Pluto entered Aquarius. That's when we started. That's when this transit began, and the world has been upended. We have had crazy, wild, what in the world things happening. When a death wave comes through with the Pluto retrograde, we have to pay Pluto. If we don't pay Pluto, we can't go forward. If we don't pay Pluto, we get stuck. If we don't pay Pluto, we get stuck on the shore and we don't get to enter the new world. So there's a couple different ways to look at this. If you're looking at the payments you've already made, things that you've already slain, things that you've already called to death, things you've already let go of, probably have already helped you in this process. What have you already done? First, look at that, okay? Because there's probably already work that has been practiced where you've cleared things out, where you've gotten things out of your life. Aquarius also is like friends, people, colleagues, family members, random people you meet on the street, okay? So if you've gotten rid of any of that, also applicable and associated with this. Now, going into the Pluto retrograde with the Mars in Leo, I think this is kind of an interesting crossover. We've got the full moon happening in Scorpio. Full moon happening in Scorpio is going to be on the 12th. So again, that's at the end of this episode. But Mars and Leo, and then Pluto in Aquarius, the Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, they're both going to be ruling over the moon that is full in Scorpio. So this first quarter moon being ruled by the sun, which is ruled by the same sign that the new moon was in, this is gonna be like a really, 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 really big day for okay. Reality is going to set in a little bit. Right now, that Pluto retrograde in Aquarius is being ruled by a Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn in Pisces is at the end. Saturn in Pisces, interesting. Is it icy? We're consecrating some stuff. We're freezing some stuff. Curious words. Saturn in Pisces is what I meant to say. Saturn in Pisces is the end. We're at the end. We're getting near that. May 25th is when Saturn enters into Aries. So Saturn is wrapping things up. Saturn has been in Pisces since March of 2023. It's been serious with us. We've gotten practices together. We've gotten our transitions together, foundations, fundamentals, spiritual things have been happening. We've been transitioning with different areas of our lives. And now we're getting to the doneness. We're getting to the finalization. So Pluto retrograde kicks in a death wave, and then we've got Saturn in Pisces, which ruling over that Pluto in Aquarius, there's going to be some spiritual lessons that are being harvested. If you're someone who is sensitive like I am, and or you have a lot of Scorpio 8th house stuff going on in your chart, probably you already feel it happening. So just, pay attention. Pluto takes a really long time to turn around. You know how we have shadow periods before retrogrades and things like that. So Pluto takes a long time to turn around because it's a slow moving planet. It's our slowest moving one. So when it takes its time, good. Let it take time. Death is not something that needs to be rushed. Death is not something that needs to be rushed. Not to be hushed about it, just death is not something that needs to be rushed. So when Pluto goes retrograde in Aquarius, same time we're having this first quarter moon in Leo, there's going to be this bright light of the first quarter moon, this bright light of things coming into perspective. And because Mars is in Leo and it's part of that ruler's circle of the placements there, we're going to have a lot of clarity. Oh, this is what I've been fighting for. Oh, this is what I've been fighting for. Oh my God, I can't fight for that anymore. Oh, I've been fighting for this. I can keep fighting for that. Oh my God, this is my victory. Interesting. Oh, this is my victory. This is what I want for my victory. This is how I need to be my victory. This is how I need to command my victory. This is how I need to receive my victory. This is how I need to speak my victory. This is how I need to create my victory. This is what I've been doing. This is how I need to do it. It's kind of both. This is what I've been doing. This is how I need to do it. It's going to be kind of a reflective point because of that Pluto retrograde starting on that day. First quarter moons are usually, this is where we're going. This is what's happening for the future. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is the clarity before we get to the full moon and we receive the full clarity and we kind of let some things go. So we're looking towards the future. We know our direction, but we don't know the full totality of our destination. That one's going to be the full moon. And so before we get there, though, we're not quite there yet, but before we get there, I do want to talk a little bit more about this crossover. Pay attention to the things that are coming up, because this full moon that's happening in Scorpio, we're going to have a lot of secrets revealed. Again, we're going to get to the details later on in the episode, but there's going to be secrets revealed. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you need to shield. The dark moon is in Scorpio right now. The dark moon, the Lilith placement. The dark mothers, the shadow mothers, the hidden mothers, the mothers that don't have names sometimes, the mothers that don't play games sometimes, the mothers who are serious, the mothers who are quiet, the mothers who say, oh yeah, okay, you go ahead and try it then. You want to try it after somebody speaks to you like that? Because I sure don't, okay? Those mothers are very serious. It's not that the other mothers are not serious, but hidden mothers, shadow mothers, serious. It's the mothers that can lift a heavy weight, and they don't wait about it. They're going to lift it, and they're going to gift it sometimes. And sometimes those gifts are not always super fun. It depends on what you've been lifting and what you've been doing. The mothers are serious. Those are the mothers that hold people accountable, and the mothers that make sure that the people who are holding themselves accountable get the rewards. Okay, then. Dark moon in Scorpio. So we got a dark moon in Scorpio at the same time that we have the full moon in Scorpio. Pay attention. Pay attention on this moon. Pay attention on this first quarter moon, the 4th to the 5th of May. Okay, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Especially with Pluto starting its retrograde, there's going to be little whispers. Aquarius sometimes gives us little whispers of the wind. Little whispers of the wind, when they come through with Aquarius, they're going to give you little premonition tastes. They're going to give you little premonition visions. Okay, so pay attention. However you receive those clarities or those informations, little premonitions are going to come in. Little premonitions that might feel kind of big, but they're going to get even bigger on the full moon. They're going to get even bigger on the full moon. So listen. Also with Aquarius, one of the things to pay attention to is primordial spirits. So things like nature, if there's something random or unexpected, things that you didn't think were going to happen, but they do come up. Okay, things like that. Pay attention to it because we have got some things to come through that are unexpected. And if you pay attention to the unexpectedness and you say, oh, that's what that is, you translate the symbolism. Oh, that bird flew by me because this thing. Oh, that ladybug is here because Lady Luck is around. Okay, however you might translate those weird premonitory experiences, Pluto in Aquarius is listening and says, oh, you've decided something, have you? Okay, well, we're going to rearrange some things then. Oh, you've decided something, have you? All right, well, we're going to change some things then. Be ready, be prepared, because what you said, what you interpreted it as, now is a part of the order. Now is a part of the pattern. Now is a part of the structure. So there could be some things that you have premonitioned in the previous however many months since November of 2024 when Pluto entered Aquarius, where now, okay, shh, things are going to start to show up. Shh, don't talk about it. Shh, keep it quiet. Shh, keep it hush. Shh, 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 shh. Pluto's about secrets. One of the things with Pluto in Aquarius is discerning who you can trust with your secrets, and who you can't. Who can you trust? Who can you not? Why would you share your secrets? Sharing your secrets with the people that are around you, oh goodness. Just make sure you're ready for the consequence and really track the consequence. Pluto is very calculated when it comes to this kind of stuff. Am I sharing the secret because of a consequence? Am I sharing the secret regardless of a consequence? Am I sharing the secret to have an exact consequence? Am I sharing the secret because I need no consequence? Why are you sharing the secret? That's part of it. Why are you sharing the information? Really pay attention. Really pay attention, because there's some things that Spirit's going to start to tell people who are spiritually clocked in. I've been saying it for months now. People who have a practice in this coming age, the age of Aquarius, are going to have a leg up, especially in the coming couple of years when Saturn and Neptune are both in Aries together, and we're done with Saturn and Neptune both in Pisces. So if you have a spiritual practice and Spirit starts to bring you information, there are some things the world does not need to know. And that's what I'll say about it. So keep it hush, keep it hush, keep it hush, keep it to yourself. This first quarter moon in Leo also is going to help us find some direction from the previous moon cycle. And the previous moon cycle was ruled by a new moon solar eclipse in Aries. So we've got some pretty big clarity, and Mars in Leo also rules Aries right now. So we have some really big clarity coming in. Hello, first quarter moon. Hello, Pluto retrograde. Let the clarity come through. Let the clarity reach you. This is not something to get up and do. This is not something to get up and brew. This is something that will come to you. This is something that will arrive. This is something that has driven a long time and is now going to reach you. This is something that you've probably been thinking about, asking, how do I figure this out? What's the answer to this? How do I reach this conclusion? Okay, and Spirit's going to lift the illusion. This is a day where Spirit says, no more illusion. You're going to understand. There's going to be power that's gifted to you. There's going to be secrets that are gifted to you. It's also the start of the Pluto retrograde, so pay attention to themes, thematics, and also any random happen chance occurrences that might come up, because it could be something that's going to be relative for the rest of that Pluto retrograde till mid-October. So calculate it, clock it, lock it. It's going to be a couple days of some really, really powerful energy. Harness it how you need to. We're going in a different direction. We've got things to do. This is not a time maybe to be so silly. This is a time to be willy, okay? Will some stuff. Go create some stuff. Go make some stuff. Will, okay? Make some decisions. It could be internal decisions. It could be magical decisions. It could be some creative decisions. It could be that you're getting up and physically willing things. It's going to be up to you. Wherever your Pluto is in your chart is going to be applicable for that, but That's a good place to start with it, all right? That's a good place to start with it. More on the Pluto retrograde once we get to the full moon, but for now we're going to keep going with the moon cycle and the other transits that are coming up. So 6th to the 7th, we've got the moon in Virgo. It's going to be with the south node, ruled by a Mercury in Aries. We're probably going to have some ideas come to the ground. Now, what do I mean by that? Things you've been thinking about? Oh, earthly, got it. Things that have been floating around in your mind, oh, earthly, got it. It's earthly. I can feel it with my hands. My body understands. It's not just up in my head anymore. My body gets it. I've been spending a lot of time on the floor with the South Node in Virgo, and my body practices are different these days. And that is part of the South Node in Virgo. We're naturally really good at the practice of body, working out, healing our body. It could be that. It could be the food that you eat. There's a lot of different ways that the South Node in Virgo is activating the body and the body mechanics. The Virgo energy is how our communication happens indirectly, including how the vibration through like molecules happens. That is a form of Virgo communication, as strange as that might be. Or like, you know, you can feel if someone really wants to give you a hug or if they don't want, you know what I mean? Like you can feel it. So yeah. It's that sort of communication. There's a lot of other layers to it, but that's a part of it. So since the South Node is there, we're naturally building natural skill. We're building skill of naturality. Like it's easy for us, but we're also grounding some things at the same time. Oh, this makes sense. I can just do this now. Oh, this makes sense. I'm just going to do this now because here I am. So because of that South Node in Virgo, there's going to be some natural skill building, stuff that we're doing that might be new, but doesn't feel new. Maybe building off of old blocks that are already really familiar to you, but kind of repurposed or used in a new way. And being comfortable in it. So when I said there might be some things that come to the ground and Aries is around, it's going to be things of the mind. It's also probably going to be some new beginning stuff. Oh, I can't just go do this. Oh, I can't just start this thing because just after the first quarter moon, okay, yeah, I can't just go do this. I can't just start this thing. I can't just become this. I can't just start whatever this thing is because I've already done it. Maybe not the exact same way, but now it's time and I have the skill. And if I don't have the skill totally and completely honed in and down, that's okay. I already feel comfortable in it and I got it. I can do it. So there might be some things that come to the ground. If you wanted to look at your South Node placement, kind of familiarize yourself with what's happening in your South Node placement in your chart, that might be a place where things are coming to the ground during this moon as well. It's going to be some bigger stuff if that's true. So just pay attention. We also, too, during the 6th and the 7th with the moon in Virgo, on the 6th, we're going to have Mercury conjunct Chiron in Aries. Ooh, okay, Mercury, okay, Chiron. So there could be some things where this could go in a couple different directions, okay? One of them could be that we realize, oh, I haven't healed that thing yet. Sometimes when Chiron reveals things, it does it in a way that is not super fun. Sometimes it's a little triggering, but when we get triggered, oh, I need to heal that thing. Let me take the time to go and heal that thing. So there could be stuff that happens on the 6th that's related to that. It also could be realizing, oh, I actually have healed that thing. Like this thing happened communication-wise. Maybe it's the way you're talking to yourself. Maybe it's the way that other people are talking to you. Maybe it's the way that other people look at you because it's Mercury and Mercury deals with both direct and indirect communication. So it could be a lot of different things communication-wise, but there could be some things that used to be triggering that no longer are, okay? We've been going through a lot of Chiron stuff in the previous couple of years when the North Node was in Aries. So we've got some changes. You know, if you've been doing the work to invest in your healing and you've been doing the healing stuff, then probably on this day, you're going to be like, wow, I actually did heal some things. Cool. There might be some revealing of what needs to be healed. The other part of Chiron that I think is really interesting is that sometimes when we are sitting in a healed position, become the person that triggers other people. We don't normally do that on purpose. Sometimes it just happens. So there could be some of that comes up as well. Handle that as necessary because that's going to be different for every person in every situation. And that's just what it is. This Mercury conjunct Chiron in Aries, ruled by the Mars in Leo, ruled by the Sun in Taurus, ruled by the Venus in Aries. Okay, so then we have another Aries circle. It's just going to go back to the Mars in Leo, back to the Sun in Taurus. So we're really like sun-centered in this. This could also trigger, if anyone is too self-centered on this day and it triggers you, that's gonna have a lot to say. Could be something that you are healed now, so you're centering yourself. People who have like recovering people pleaser kind of energy or like that vein of healing work. If you've been going through that, this may be a day where you realize, whoa, I actually did it. I actually did it. I'm able to center myself, and I've done it in a way that's actually really healthy for me. Good job. Good job. Holy cow. Good for you. Okay. Wow. So there's a lot of different layers. There could also be some inner kid healing where we kind of realize, oh, I did the work to heal my inner child, or there's still some work that needs to be done. It could be other people being childish, and that could be a little triggering. So, just take into account Aries energy. There's going to be some shining bright sun on the work that you've done. Have you done the work that needs to be done? Have you not done the work that needs to be done? Is there still work that needs to be done? Okay, because sometimes you do the work and there's still work that needs to be done. So, clarity, discernment. This is a day to discern. Do I need to say this? Do I need to keep this to myself? Because this is a day where people are going to have a lot to say. People are going to have a lot to say. They're going to have a lot to say. Okay. So this is a day to discern. Do I need to say this? Say it's a problem with your coworker, right? Something comes up with your coworker and you think to yourself, they're being snappier than usual. Do I say something? Do I bring it up? Or do I just leave it be? Is it worth it to bring it up? Do I feel like I need to? And then you make your decision accordingly, right? Okay. So it could be little things like that come up. Maybe it doesn't feel so little in the process or in the moment, but it could be something that comes up and you're like, oh, yeah, I respond differently now. I've definitely changed. I would not have done that a year ago. So however it shows up, just be ready for there to be a little bit of fire energy in the air. Also because it's going to be in a moon. The moon is going to be ruled by Virgo, which is also ruled by Mercury. So we're going to have a lot of healing. There's a lot, this moon is going to have a lot to say. Don't let it float away. Let it ground. This is a moon to ground, to ground, to ground, the 6th to the 7th. Don't let it float around. Let it ground. Let yourself ground. Let your body ground. Let yourself understand if you've been working on healing work and you want to utilize this energy to sit down intentionally and sit with yourself and do some healing work, good for you. Okay, these days are going to be really, really good for that. I think probably I will be doing that too. So just something to keep in mind. This also too, because the South Node is in Virgo, if you sit down and make intentional time the 6th to the 7th, especially with that Mercury conjunct Chiron and Aries that's happening, there is going to be some clarity and revelation with the purpose that you have been given over the previous couple of years being driven. So the North Node having been in Aries, and now we're having this conjunction in Aries, which will be ruling over the South Node in Virgo. Lots of transits. Let's translate that, okay? The North Node is this thing that's way high up in the sky that we don't really understand too much of, but we know we need to walk in that direction. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I find a lot of the times that people who are following that North Node path are usually spiritual. Usually people who are in spiritual spaces are looking for the tools and the language and the perspectives, the gifts to be able to understand their purpose in this life. And that is very, very, very North Node oriented. The North Node was just in Aries. So we were receiving new purpose with our mind, with our fresh start, with our inner child, with these dreams that we've had for a long time that for whatever reason still haven't come into fruition. So it's no longer in Aries, but we are still coming out of that Aries North Node energetically speaking. We just had an Aries eclipse about a month and a half ago. So when was it? March 29th? So about a month ago. It was about a month ago, a little over a month ago. So just keeping that in mind, that we still are in this transition of allowing ourselves to understand that purpose way high up in the sky of that inner child. And because this Mercury conjunct Chiron will be ruling over a moon in Virgo where the South Node is things coming to the earth. That purpose now has grounded. It is here. It is on the earth. We understand it. We can walk in it. I can grab it. It's something I can utilize. It's materialized. It's here. It's here. It's right in front of me. I can put my hands in it, okay? That's the South Node and the North Node's relationship. So because this Mercury conjunct Chiron is going to be ruling over that South Node in Virgo, this is going to have a lot to say. There's going to be some things that ground on this day. Do it your own way. This is a day to make sure you do it your own way. This day is going to have a lot to say. This is the 6th when Mercury's conjunct Chiron in Aries, the moon's in Virgo. This day is going to have a lot to say. Let it say what it needs to say, and then go your way. It's your purpose. It's your dream. It's not anybody else's. It's your purpose and it's your dream. So do it for you. Don't let anybody else tell you what to do. This is a day to do it for you. Sit down, make the intentional time to make sure that you can create the way you need to. Good for you. There's going to be some information that comes through that's only for you. That's kind of a theme of this moon cycle, but this day is included with that, especially related to those inner child dreams and anything North Node and Aries related that's been happening for the previous couple of years. There's going to be some things that ground. They may not, sometimes Virgo doesn't always have the word. It's more of like a feeling, a knowing, but it makes sense and you don't have to explain it. There could be some of that stuff that comes through on this day too. So make sure you're making intentional time for you. This is going to be stuff that's really, really personal to you. It's probably not going to be stuff that's including a whole bunch of other people, unless those people have been around you for a really long time, and for some reason they're included in those dreams. But you know what? Sometimes alluded to, Pluto again, retrograde in Aquarius. Sometimes we need to make alone time with this transit. More on that again once we get kind of closer to the end, when we have the full moon in Scorpio coming up. But moon in Virgo, ruled by the Mercury conjunct Chiron in Aries, we're going to have a lot of grounding. So just get ready, because there could be some things that you have been waiting to hear that finally are near. You could have some answers. You've been asking questions for a couple of years, wondering what the heck is going on. Okay, well, open your ears then, because here we go. This is the transit. This is the transit. Sometimes there are transits that can influence. This is the one. You know what I mean? It's the transit. Okay, it's the transit. Thank goodness. I'm grateful for it. There's a lot of thankfulness in that. I didn't know who to thank at first. Thank the transits, thank the planets, thank astrology. I guess that's true. So thank you, Spirit. And thank you also, because if you listen, it's for you as well. That's true. So just to prepare, just understand there's going to be things that come through on that day. And here we go. So next one is going to be the 8th to the 9th is going to be a moon in Libra. We just had the South Node in Libra. So this one hopefully is going to be like a refresher. Oh, wow. Here I am. Because this is going to be preparing us for the full moon in Scorpio, right? So this is going to be, oh, wow, here I am. Oh, wow. I have graduated. Oh, wow. I really did that. Oh, wow. I really am in alignment. Oh, wow. I really am in attunement. I'm tuning to that manifestation. Oh, wow. I really am balanced. Oh, wow. I really am worthy. Oh, wow. I really am courageous. Oh, wow. I really am brave. Oh, wow. I really am me. Okay, however it is, let it be free. But it's going to be a couple of days when the moon is in Libra, a couple of days of, oh, wow. So just allow yourself to see. This is going to be a couple of days where not only are we adjusting, but it's also like clarity. Clarity on the chapters that are over now, clarity on the chapters that we've already been in, that we're done with. We're done. We're done. Things maybe not so fun, things maybe that did not need to see the sun. Okay, they're done now. Okay, they're done now. This Libra moon is also again going to be ruled by the Venus in Aries. I feel like everything this week is ruled by Venus in Aries, which means everything this week is ruled by the Mars in Leo, which means everything this week is ruled by the Sun in Taurus. So we have this big, just like, it's like a big birthing pot. Like, you know, like when I say pot, this is what I imagine. Like a potted plant, right? You ever had a potted plant? But it's not a plant yet, it's just a seed. Okay, now imagine that there's a big tray of it, a big tray of them, okay, and there's all these seeds, and now they're popping up. That's what I imagine this energy to be like. It's okay, which ones need to be put in new pots? Which one needs to be put in new plants? How are we working it? Does it need water? Does it need fertilizer? What do you need now that you're popping up and there's birth? It's like this big birth bin, a big birth pot is big birth energy. Big birth energy. Okay, so this week is going to have a lot to say, especially with however Venus entered Aries, because I remember in the previous week I was talking about Venus entering Aries, and that was our week well, that was the transit really. When that started was us bringing in the birth of the worth. It's our new worth being born. How are we going to walk this story? What's it going to look like? How are we going to move in it? What's the territory, the theme, the thematics, the understanding of it? So since this moon in Libra is ruled by that Venus in Aries, we're going to see what did we earn while the South Node was in Libra that has allowed us to have this new birth. We're in a new birth of worth. Venus just went direct. Venus just entered Aries. We're out of a South Node in Libra, which is ruled by Venus. And the end caps of that South Node in Libra was Venus retrogrades. Venus retrogrades every about a year and a half. There was a Venus retrograde at the beginning of the South Node in Libra, and there was a Venus retrograde at the end of the South Node in Libra, which means both of those Venus retrogrades are like super, super tied together. Surprise, here we are. So a lot of justice work, a lot of shadow mother work, a lot of things in the dark feminine that were coming up to be reorganized, re-strategized, re-understood. The scales have been balanced. That's been the focus of justice work over the previous several years. However you sat in that, whether it's been ancestral justice, personal justice, social justice within the world. There's a lot of ways that justice can be called on, loved, appreciated, and or kind of pushed away. It depends on how you sit with that. So if you have been in justice work and you have a relationship with justice, there's gonna be some clarity during this moon about, oh, no longer am I in disparity. This is the justice I've earned. My life has taken a turn. My life is turning, and this is what I'm learning. My life is turning, and this is what I'm learning. I'm going to say it again. My life is turning, and this is what I'm learning. This is what I've earned. So here I am now. That's going to be a lot about this moon in Libra. So really pay attention to anything where you're like, oh, this is a little bit new. I have a new story here. I have new justice here. I'm worth more here because I've earned that. I'm worth more here because now I'm new. Now I'm different. I've changed who I am. I'm a different person. I'm worth more. My heart is different. The way that I handle the world is different. The way I handle problems is different. The way that I work and I grow is different. How are you different? This moon is going to have some things to say about the way that you're turning your life, the direction you're turning your life, and what can you expect and what are you expecting from this new life turn? We're going to see over the next 6 months. And this has to do with more of the eclipse cycle, but I'm going to bring it up because we've been talking about the North Node and the South Node, and it feels kind of important. Between the eclipse seasons, so we have one eclipse season, we wait about 6 months, and then we get into the next one. Between those eclipse seasons, we are having some pretty big shifts. Everything that's happened in eclipse season, we're shifting those focal points until we get, for 6 months, till we get to the next eclipse season, and then we have another sort of big turning point moment. So because we're coming out of the South Node in Libra, we're leaving this eclipse season that we just had. We're in a new moon. This new moon has been ruled by Taurus, or is ruled by Taurus. So now we're in the process of making those shifts. What came up over the previous eclipse cycle that was really big and Venus related, probably stuff you were letting go of because we were in a Venus retrograde. What's done now? What are you not worth anymore? We're starting to see the birth come in with Venus. And so this moon in Libra, the 8th to the 9th, oh, wow, maybe I actually have done something good for myself. Oh, wow, maybe I have turned my life in a new direction. I just wasn't able to see it yet. Interesting. I think I really like that. Interesting. I think I really love it. Interesting. There's going to be some things that you're like, wow, wasn't expecting that, but now I'm here and it looks pretty good. So clock it for yourself, track it if you need to. The moon in Libra, the new moon in Libra at the end of this year, or not the end of this year, but like October time, is October 21st. Okay. That's going to be our new moon in Libra this year. More on that another time, but we're going to be transitioning out of the previous South Node in Libra energy kind of until then, and then we get to have like a really brand new beginning come in October 21st. There's a lot of other stuff that's new beginning oriented around that time. Pluto is also going to be going direct around that time. October 13th. So just kind of prepare for there to be a new beginning in the end of October. That placement included. There's, like I said, other ones that are being alluded to, but that placement included. So there's going to be some sparks of ideas, some things that are coming in. Oh, I have earned a new life. Oh, I did turn my life around. Oh, wow, things are about to ground. Here comes the full moon in Scorpio. Okay, so this is probably going to be the best part of the show today because you know what? I'm a Scorpio. I love Scorpio, and we've got some things to talk about. Okay, this is gonna be a really serious full moon. I'm gonna get real close when I say this, if you can see the screen. If not, just know that I'm a little closer. We're getting up close and personal. Okay, that's what this full moon is about to do. Right now, we've got the dark moon in Scorpio. The dark moon just transited into Scorpio. It was in the middle of eclipse season when that happened. The dark moon, when it transits a sign, it initiates a new birth of something. It takes about 9 months for the dark moon and or the Lilith placement. I call it the dark moon because Lilith is not the only dark mother in my opinion, so dark moon as more of just a general term, but it is the Lilith more in like the classical names of astrology, just so there's clarity for everybody that's involved, including myself. So the dark moon placement, it has a lot of different things that it is related to. One that we most commonly relate it to is the mother wound. We most commonly relate it to the mother wound and the power that we gain because of the wound of the mother. And the mother wounds in two different directions, especially if you are a birthing person, a person who can give birth, a person who is womb-bodied. There's a lot of different titles to that. And or someone who would consider themselves a mother, which not technically everyone who has a womb would consider themselves a mother, and there's people without wombs who would consider themselves a mother. Okay, so clarity again. Congratulations, let it come in. So with that, if you are someone who considers themselves a mother, then this also goes in the other direction where it's not just the mother wound, the mothers that wound us above us, but also possibly the wounds that we would give to other people because of the feminine energy of mother that we are sitting in. So when you're looking at the wounding of this placement, it goes in both directions. Scorpio wait, before we get there, there's more on the dark mother. There's more on the dark moon. The dark moon also has to do with the power of the feminine that no one else can see, and that is really hard to talk about, and probably, honestly, in my opinion, should be kept a secret. There's stuff to this placement that we probably really shouldn't talk about very often, or we should talk about it behind closed doors, or the spirits should bring it to you and nobody else should talk about it because it's stuff that only the spirits should be able to bring to you, okay? There's some stuff with this placement that you've got to earn it. One of the things I've noticed as a thematic or a theme that's happening within the spiritual community online right now, at least in my bubble, in my pocket of things, people are starting to be like, yeah, that should be gatekept. There are some things that we don't need to talk about for many, many reasons, okay? And one of the things I'll say for that reason is because if it's between you and the spirits and nobody else knows about it, that is the most protected wisdom and practice you are ever gonna have. Ever, 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 ever. And this placement can help you to understand. That was really aggressive, okay? Let's come back down to the earth a little bit. I just get really excited about this stuff. The dark moon in Scorpio is some of my favorite places in the chart. So the fact that they're together and we have a full moon, oh my God, I'm really excited about it. Anyways, back on track. So there could be some things that come up where if you're feeling a little bit under attack, or there could be some secrets revealed. Like if you've been waiting to be like, how do I say this? I know somebody's messing with my energy. I know somebody's around me that shouldn't be. I know something's up, but I just can't see it yet. For whatever reason, I don't know exactly what it is. That could be revealed on this moon. So just, we're not going to I want to explain the placements before we get too deep into it, but there could be some of that stuff that comes up, just secrets being revealed. Back to the private practice though, like having privacy between you and the spirits, it does keep things protected. So this placement and Scorpio both together is interesting because those placements, when I'm looking at protective mechanisms for people and how they can connect with those spaces of having more privacy in their practice so that they can have more protection, I'm always going to look at Scorpio and I'm always going to look at the dark moon. So the fact that they're together, there's going to be some things that happen where it's like, okay, we really need to protect the information that's coming through. Plus, Pluto's just gone retrograde, right? And that's going to be one of the rulers over this full moon. So because of that, oh dear God, because of that, how do I explain this? Before we move on to that, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. Can you see I've done that a couple times? You see how excited I am? Okay, let me roll it back a little bit. Let me roll it back a little bit. The other part of the dark moon that I feel is necessary to talk about a lot of the times, if you are claiming the power of the dark moon, the payment normally is innocence. It could be something that's already happened to you and you just are going back and claiming the power of whatever it is that's gone on, and now you have to pay your innocence because now you understand what was the reality when you were younger. What was really going on between you and that other person, or you and that feminine? What was going on? You have to kind of see the reality of it. So the dark moon, it does take innocence from us. And part of the reason that the dark moon is associated with the mother wound, at least in my opinion, is because there's sometimes the things that are revealed with the dark moon. Sometimes the innocence is taken too early. Sometimes the mothers don't help us, quote unquote, enough so that our innocence can be protected more. Sometimes we have innocence that's taken very purposefully and kind of cruelly. It's not always the most fun placement. So if you look at when you were younger and you were a child or growing up, how was your innocence taken from you when it comes to that mother perspective? Not a super fun thing to look at. The reason I say to look at it is because it's going to be involved with this moon that's coming up. So it's not something that maybe needs to be directly looked at. Just understand that it could be an area of topic or discussion that is revealed or understood. Something that has been concealed probably for a long time is about to be revealed. We have the South Node in Scorpio, not to bring up a lunar node again, but here we are. And for those of you that don't know, the lunar nodes, I might have said this already, but the lunar nodes are what rule over the eclipses. So for example, right now we have North Node in Pisces and the South Node is in Virgo, which means we're on the lunar node axis where our eclipses are going to be related to Pisces and Virgo. So we had a South Node in Scorpio that was 2021 to 2023. So we had Scorpio energy, lots of death, lots of rebirth, lots of power struggles, lots of claiming power. Scorpio likes to get a little bit, there's a lot of different ways that Scorpio likes to act. It's very secretive, it's very in the dark, it's very power ruling. There's a lot of different ways that this placement can show itself. Also exchanges, taking power from other people, that's a part of this. So think about what was happening 2021 to 2023. What was really going on in your life? I know for me, that was a really strange time. It was a time of realignment. It was a time of death and rebirth. Okay, so during this full moon, with this new moon in Taurus now, part of the reason that this is going to be such a precise full moon, there's going to be some precision that comes in, is because this new moon was also with Uranus, which is one of the rulers, and Uranus in Taurus right now, is one of the rulers of Aquarius, which is ruling over Pluto. So there's going to be some precise information. Again, this is the first Pluto retrograde we're having where Pluto is not going to go back into Capricorn and it will be staying in Aquarius. We're about to have the first real harvest this year, May 3rd. What is it, May 3rd? May 5th. May 5th, from May 5th to October 13th, while Pluto is retrograde. We're going to have the first real harvest this year of the next 18 years of Pluto-related things, Aquarius-related energy with Pluto and Aquarius. If you've been following me, we're going to take a side tangent note. I'm going to come back to the main topic in just a second. If you've been following me since basically November of 2024, I'm going to reopen a door. If not, okay, then I'm going to talk about some new stuff that maybe I haven't talked about before. So if we're looking at right before, it was like a day or two before Pluto went into Aquarius, I did a collective reading. It's up on YouTube if you want to go check it out. I'll link it in the YouTube video up in one of the corners up here. So if you want to go find it, it'll be there. But it was the Pluto and Aquarius reading. I did it the day before Pluto went into Aquarius. And one of the things that was brought up in that reading, that Spirit was showing me in that reading that feels necessary to talk about, is that there's going to be some pretty big things that bounce around in the air, in the sky, because Aquarius is those big, big winds that are way up high, and Pluto is the underworld. So we're going to have some things ground eventually, but with the Aquarius energy, things have to be created. We have to will it together. We have to decide upon some things. So Pluto retrograde, with it being the first time of harvest, think about all the crazy societal things that have happened since November of 2024. We're going to start to see already kind of it's happening. We're going to start to see some harvest, some death. The crazy stuff that's been happening, there's going to be some death to it. Things that society maybe doesn't agree with. Maybe some things where power is being taken from people are going to be corrected. It could be some things where we've been misdirected that are going to be changed. The other part of this, so I don't know exactly how that's going to ground as specifics, okay, but just for clarity's sake, because it's unpredictable. Society, sometimes it's a little bit hard to predict such a large group of people, right? Okay. Again, don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but there we go. Society, going back to Pluto retrograde, where do I want to go? Oh, things are going to ground. Sometimes, this is another kind of good protective tip for practices, especially since we're talking about protection stuff, the dark moon, Scorpio placements. If it's unpredictable, if you have not scripted it yet, okay, or the spirits have something unpredictable waiting for you, okay, if things are unpredictable, people normally, if it has not been prophesized, if it has not been predicted, if you have not made the decision and or your decision doesn't matter and it's just going to happen, if things are unpredictable, then they cannot be stopped. If they can't be predicted, think about this. If you're sitting with your tarot cards and you're reading on a situation, or a spirit brings you information through visions, dreams, other things like that, right? Those things can be predicted. Those are predictable things. You can sit with that information and say, how do I need to move? What do I need to change? Do I need to change anything? What is really going on? Sometimes enemies are revealed in dreams like that. Sometimes we can see things that maybe we don't want to partake in or don't want to participate in because we have those gifts. Beautiful. Thank the spirit for that. I'm grateful. And thank you, magic. That's true. And thank the gods that are coming through. For real. Thank you. Okay. So going back into this, with those unpredictable energies then, if it cannot be scripted, if it cannot be predicted, how are you supposed to see it? You can't, which means that you can't, which means that other people can't see it either. So whatever is happening, unpredictable during Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, this death wave coming through to bring harvest of things that have been unpredictable, is not meant to be predictable because some things cannot be predicted. Big lesson at the end of 2024. Some things cannot be predicted. And with some things not being able to be predicted, thank you, Spirit, at least it was a big lesson for me, okay? Because I kept seeing astrologers make predictions about what was happening in the world and things that were going on. And that was just something Spirit kept repeating to me and repeating to me and repeating to me. This is not hate or shade to people who are making predictions, not at all. This is just something that I was seeing collectively. And Spirit was like, you can't predict everything. You can't predict everything. You can't predict everything. So here we are. We can't predict everything. If it's on a personal level, level, in my opinion, that's really protective. If people can't predict you and they can't predict your moves, okay, well, you're going to be able to move freely. People are not going to be able to bind you up or make an order in your life where you're now stuck or caught or trapped. Good. Okay, be unpredictable then. Thank the gods. Be unpredictable then. And sometimes, because there's so many people involved in society, this is more Aquarius related, but it's relevant because of the Pluto in Aquarius. Since there's so many people in society, think about how many individual decisions we make on a personal level every single day. Okay, now amplify that by how many people exist in society. That's a really, really unpredictable thing. Pause, pause, and keep going, okay? That's a really, really unpredictable thing. That's a crazy unpredictable amount of decisions and amount of will. All right, then. So some of the stuff that we've created, it takes unpredictable forms. The primordial spirits, which are represented by Uranus in astrology, are a part of this. And that was a part of the new moon in Taurus. Uranus is in Taurus where the new moon was. Okay, so we have the primordial beings. They're unpredictable. And sometimes they tell you the prophecies. Sometimes they are predictable, okay? But with this energy, the unpredictableness, and not coming through with the creativity, think about this. If you're sitting down to paint a picture, or you're going to write a poem, or you're going to sing a song, you haven't ever done it before, that's a little bit unpredictable too. So the primordial spirits, while it's predictable that there's creativity going on, and it could be predictable of the medium of art or craft that's happening, it's not always going to be predictable what comes out of that. So that's kind of what we're dealing with, seeing, revealing this time around. And because this full moon in Scorpio is going to be revealing things to us, okay, let it be revealed then. I don't know exactly what's going to be revealed. Pluto is very secretive. Also, we have Mars and Leo ruling over this. And right now, Pluto and Mars, they're going to be squaring that new moon, or the full moon, pardon me. Pluto's going to be squaring the full moon. Mars is going to be squaring the full moon. It's going to be a very serious, very grounding surround sound. It's going to be surround sound. And again, if you've been with me for a while, there's some collective readings I was doing at the beginning of the year where I was talking about the mothers are going to ground. It's going to be surround sound. Okay, this full moon, surround sound. It's going to be surround sound. There's going to be things going on the ground. There's going to be things going on in the sky. There's going to be things going on way up in the spirit, way up high. Okay, pay attention. There's a lesson to it. There's a lesson to it. I don't know exactly what it is because that's going to be a personal thing between you and spirit. Not necessarily for me. There's probably going to be a lesson for me too. That's how things go. But there's going to be some things that are going on because it's Leo and it's Aquarius, and those are sister signs. And we're also, just to put this in perspective, I didn't think about this before, but here we are. Just to put this in perspective, talking about the lunar nodes, our lunar nodes next year transition into the North Node in Aquarius and the South Node in Leo. Okay. Pluto is really, really long term. If there's information revealed to you, keep it concealed. If there's information revealed to you, keep it concealed. Do not let it be revealed. The dark moon asks that we keep the secrets. Keep it, keep it, keep it. Scorpio asks that we strategically reveal the secrets. Keep it, keep it, keep it. Keep it, keep it, keep it. Keep it. Sometimes things are better left asleep. And if it wakes up for you, know it and use it how you need to, okay? But don't let other people know what's going on in your world with this full moon in Scorpio. This is a full moon to be private by yourself as much as you possibly can be. This is also a full moon to sit down and listen. Open those ears, open those eyes. Give yourself permission to receive whatever's coming in, because there's about to be some things with Pluto in retrograde that leave society. Not just leave our individual lives. Things that are leaving society. Things that are leaving our networks. Things that are leaving that we're no longer going to be receiving. The death wave of Pluto, and the death wave being Pluto retrograde, okay, and it's happening in Aquarius. There's going to be some things that leave society that we're not going to have a say in. One of the lessons of Pluto in Aquarius is that the authority, a lot of the times, is larger than us. Larger than us being an individual, well, we already knew that, okay, so what else do I mean? Larger than us being the institution. Sometimes the authority is bigger than the institution. Think about the primordial beings and the spirits and how old they are. Think about how old they are. Think about how big they are. Think about how long and strong they are, okay? Those beings are old. They are old with many stories untold. Their authority outnumbers the lot of us. It outnumbers the institutions that we've drawn up and bound to this earth. It outnumbers the way that we carry ourselves within those systems and institutions. Their authority is older and longer and stronger. And in that, if you go back and watch that Pluto retrograde Aquarius collective reading that I mentioned at the beginning, that is the final reading of that. It mentions the old magic and authority. The authority is waking up right now. Those old beings are waking up being like, why did you wake me up? This is a mess. Why did you wake me up? Time to break some of this stuff up then. You know what? Let's have some fun, because this looks like it's not very fun. All these bindings and institutions and systems that are here on the earth, aren't you tired of it? Aren't you a little fed up? Okay, the primordial spirits are going to take some things away. I don't know what it's going to be. That authority is above me, and thank the gods for that, because I don't want that responsibility. So if you're looking at, if you've been paying attention to that stuff, if you've been through a spiritual lens, if you've been looking through what's going on in the world and you've been seeing some things for yourself and you've kind of looked at what is happening, okay. This is not to be alluded to. This is not, when this sort of information pops up, you know it. This is not information where you're like, oh, I wonder if it's going to be that. Oh, I wonder if, no, this is information. You can ask that and then have an answer that is a knowing. That's a way to get to it. But a lot of the times this information comes because it's time, for whatever reason, for it to be revealed. And if it's being revealed to you, keep it on the down low. Keep it a secret. This is not information that we need to know. If you know it on an individual level, probably somebody else in the collective is going to know it too, okay? This is information that's coming through to change your directive. It's here to change your direction. We've got a lot of things directionally. The big fates are changing this summer. So not to be a bummer this summer, that's for sure. Not to be a bummer. That's if you're in the northern hemisphere. Okay, a couple months out from now. Not to be a bummer this summer. This summer is about to be a drummer. This summer it's gonna be a lot of things. Okay, it's gonna be a lot of things, but it's not to be a bummer. So with the big fates changing, sometimes we need things to be removed. Sometimes we need things to be warded out. We need things to be cleared so that we can be revered, so that we can have more reverence, so that we can be more honored, so that we can become more of our true self. And if there are systems, institutions, and bindings on this earth that are keeping us from doing that, the primordial spirits are a little fed up. So look to your practice for clarity on the full moon. Make sure that if you do not need to talk about it, you keep it shut in. Keep the doors closed, keep them locked, and don't bring it up. Don't bring it up. Spirit's going to keep you prepared if you allow Spirit to prepare you. That's true. But that responsibility is up to you, and you don't need to be responsible. Part of Pluto in Aquarius, let's go back over it, okay? I'm going to open up my ear a little bit for this one. Part of Pluto being in Aquarius, okay? Really knowing your power. One of the things I'm going to recommend for this transit, there's a back and forth. I mentioned earlier being able to discern when to trust other people and when not to trust other people. Pluto is a very, very self-serving planet, and that's not to say anything negative, okay? To be self-serving, in my opinion, you have to be centered in your practice for the spirits to be able to gain anything from you, okay? Yes, you can offer to them, you can bring offerings to them, but if you are not standing up for yourself and you're not protecting yourself, then that, in my opinion, a little bit dishonoring to the spirits who you would ask to protect you. At least that's a lesson that I've been through. So if you, with Pluto and Aquarius, are sticking to your guns, you're doing what you need to do, you're being true, and you are standing in your will as Pluto would ask you to do. Thanks, Pluto. Shout out to you, Pluto, okay? Because there's a lot of things that Pluto represents, and one of them is the will. So if you're standing in that will and you're saying, yeah, I'm ready and I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm ready and this is what I'm calling in. Yeah, I'm ready and I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm ready, I'm willing it. I'm practicing the magic of it. I'm practicing the physicality of it. I'm ready and I'm here. I'm ready and I'm standing and I'm clear. And I revere. I revere myself. I revere what I'm doing. I revere where I am. I revere. Okay. Pluto and Aquarius. One of the things that Pluto in Aquarius asks us to do is pay very, very close attention to who we are associating with and why. So if Spirit is bringing you information on this full moon that is in Scorpio, or the spirits at your altar, however it will be, you earned it. This is information that did not just come from nowhere. This is information that you have been prepared to receive. This is information that needs to leave, okay? It needs to be shared. Sometimes the spirits got to get things off their chest too. You know what I mean? Sometimes we got to listen because they need to talk about it. So if you have given yourself permission to listen, if you've given yourself permission to understand the bigger picture, the bigger things that are going on, then this is a moon where the spirits are going to say, okay, well, now you know. Okay, well, now you know. And for every single person, for every single placement, it's going to be different. We all keep different practices. We all come from different places. We all come from different spaces. We all come from different land also. And our history and our stories with that land is different. So gratitude, reverence, and love to you, the indigenous spirits of the land where I sit, talk, walk, and stand, and the land where you are receiving these messages now, and the land where the energy that we are using to receive these messages needs to pass through, go over, go on, move around, so that we're able to receive and ground. Gratitude, reverence, and love to you, the spirits that are true, and allow me to brew. That's true. And thank you for receiving those messages too. So keep it hush. I know that was a really big circle of just don't talk about it, okay? But don't talk about it. Sometimes, because again, the dark moon being in this, those secrets are for you. Those secrets are for you. They're not for anybody else. They're not for anybody else. They're for you. The spirits told you for a reason. They're giving you the authority of that information and that wisdom for a reason. Sometimes we maybe are going to make some decisions on this full moon of what we're going to do with it. That might come up. If you don't make a full decision yet, that's also valid. Sit with yourself. You know best for you. Okay, so don't be stressed about it. Don't be overdressed about it. This is not something to be like up in arms about necessarily. It's just something to sit and look at. The world is going through change right now. The world is going through a rearrange right now. We are going through a strange change currently. We're going through a strange change. You and me sitting right here right now. Going through a strange change, right? Okay, and you, me, and the collective. You, me, and the people around here. Here being the earth. Okay, love you, earth. Here being what's really happening. So gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Oh, the full moon goes exact the 12th at 16:55 UTC time, just to get specific. All the notes are going to be down there also. Okay. Gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Keep up the brew that you do. Keep doing what you need to do. Let the full moon come in and reveal to you your authority, your power, things that you've earned. And because there's a square happening between Mars, Pluto, and this full moon, and the dark moon that's in Scorpio, there's going to be things that ground. It's going to be a serious full moon. So just take that into account. Take it into account. You're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out. There's going to be some things that are revealed that no longer need to be concealed. And thank the heavens for that. So let it be. And thank you for being here to support me. I don't know what Spirit's going to bring through, but I've been feeling the energy shift since we entered the new moon in Taurus, and I did the exclusive subs new moon in Taurus reading at the end of that. Something's about to happen. What's about to happen? I don't know for sure, but something's about to happen. It might be something that's happening. I don't know. We're going to let it be. But something's about to happen. Bigger than you and me. Bigger than the authority of just us. Bigger than the authority of even the three, okay? The way the fates are woven, the way the fates are spoken. Even bigger than the authority of the three. There's something bigger than you and me. There's something bigger than all the people that are here on the earth. The authority is bigger than us this time. And there's something being revealed to the people who are in a practice and have earned the wisdom. So let it be revealed then. You know what? If it's time for it to not be concealed anymore, then it's time. Then it's time. And I'll sit in that with reverence. So, again, gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Keep up the brew that you do. You know, however you brew, if it's true for you, then keep on going. Keep on going. One of the other big things, this is kind of a side note, but one of the other big things that Spirit's been really, really big on recently in my readings with people, sitting with me too, one of the big things that's been coming up is make sure that you resist what would not want you to practice. If there are things that are coming up, this is really related to Saturn and Pisces ruling over the Pluto that's in Aquarius. If there are things that are coming up right now where you do not want to practice, you don't want to practice your craft, you don't want to practice your art, you don't want to practice your magic, resist it. Resist it. I'm going to sit at the end of this and offer to you the reminder that witchcraft is inherently political. Having a practice is inherently political. So resisting any of the energy is, whether that be very literal or just a feeling, just something that's in the air, right? Resisting by practicing is a beautiful thing. It could be a practice where you just continue to imbue love in you. Again, everyone's practice is different, you know, but this is something where we're here together now in a world where we can sit and receive astrological information through the internet, which is crazy to me that that's even a thing. It's very new, you know, it's very new. This is not something that has been around for a long period of time. So we'll talk about the unpredictable energies a little bit, you know what I mean? Anyways, witchcraft is inherently political. So sit on it how you need to. If you need to reflect on it, think about it for a little bit, however you might need to. Again, I've got some other Pluto retrograde stuff coming out very soon that will be a sort of related to that. Sort of, kind of, just a little bit. It'll be definitely related to the coven work. Yeah, I'll leave it at that for now. There's more information to come. But that's it. That's the show. Practice as you need to, brew as you need to, and keep brewing, keep doing. Resist the energies that will want you to stop, because you know what? I've got a brew to do. Look at the world. We've got things to get accomplished, right? Okay, so gratitude, reverence, and love to you. I know I said it like 3 times at this point, but whatever, I'll say it again. And you know what? Thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the love. Yeah, thank you. That's really the end of this, and I'll talk to you soon. That's also true.